The Belleville Area District Library Board will come to order. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I just want to go amen.
I always want to say drop the fuck.
The secretary will call the roll.
Okay, Dawson,
Here.
Doriga,
Here.
Peters,
Here.
Priest,
Here.
Stoudemire.
Here.
Hughes Groves, here, and Shehevitz.
Who may join us any moment, hopefully. The third item on, thank you very much for that, Alma. The third item on our agenda is approval of the agenda.
So move.
It's been moved by Jariga and supported by,
I will.
we have 2 seconds.
Okay.
I'll go with Stoudemire this time. And we can discuss, it's been moved and supported, so it's before us. We can discuss this agenda if anybody has anything to discuss. Otherwise, we'll go ahead for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by saying no. There are no dissenting votes and the agenda is approved. Now it's time for the approval of the October 12th minutes. And we have a motion.
I make that motion, but I think something should be added to the minutes. I don't know if you want to, if I should do it now or wait for the second.
Why don't we wait for the second and then we'll see if we can get a friendly amendment. Okay, we have Stoudemire. We've always had Jariga and Dawson all the time.
Yeah, made some change.
Okay, so the thing that I think should be added to the minutes is under number 6A, the building, and it's back where 3 lines from the bottom. The library received a refund of their deposit with the city, but I think that should also include what the amount was.
And maybe the Hennessy, maybe the engineering, maybe something specifying the deposit if we're going to change it.
I'm trying to remember if we actually mentioned the amount during the meeting or not.
From Hennessy,
It was 25 grand.
26. Yeah. Thanks.
But I believe Mary Jo is saying if we didn't say it last time, we can't say
We
it
did
in
say
the
it, though.
minutes.
I have
But it is a legal document and it should be in there.
If Linda has it written down, then we'll. So what amount do you have?
25,000.
I thought that was we. So a $25,000 refund. Engineer, just refund. Okay.
Of their $25,000 deposit?
Oh, well, I thought
No,
either way,
Our
a $25,000
The library's
refund
fund
of
the
their
library's deposit.
fix it. Well, whatever way, we will go with what you
Yeah.
say, Madam Director. So what is your wording?
The library received the refund of their $25,000. Oh, I see what you're saying.
We gave them more.
Yeah.
Received a refund
Received a $25,000 refund.
of the,
Of
their
their,
deposit.
from their deposit. Or it was a refund
no,
of
from
part of the deposit.
from the deposit of, what was it, 50,000?
Yeah.
Or more.
Something like that. And I'm not sure if we mentioned that amount or not.
We didn't mention that.
Okay.
So, since the maker of the motion is also motioning the amendment, I'm assuming this is a friendly amendment. And it is agreeable with the seconder of the motion, that's Tanya.
Yes.
Then,
A refund of,
I received a $25,000 refund from their deposit.
Right.
from their deposit.
Okay.
Although, so therefore, are there any other comments about the minutes? Then we can proceed to vote with the motion as amended, on the minutes as amended. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by saying no. The ayes have it. There are no dissenting votes. And our colleague Joy has joined us just as we knew she would.
Eventually.
Yeah, well, we are just in the preliminaries. So we are now on item 5 and public comments. We have 2 members of the public. Any public comments from Michelle or Rosemary? I don't hear any. So it looks like we can move on to item 6, which is committee reports. And per our promise, we have reordered our committee reports to allow Michelle Montour to give the art committee report first. And then we will move on to the regular order. So I now call on Michelle.
Thank you. My name is Michelle Montour, and I'm the current chair of the Belleville Area District Library Art Committee, just in case anybody doesn't know. So an update is our last meeting, John Thuriga requested that he requested that to loan this painting to the library pretty much indefinitely. He had originally purchased it for the other library, right?
Yes.
Okay, and at this time, our committee is really not accepting any permanent art, but we will be happy to take art on loan for a given period of time. So considering that this painting is historically based, there's our water tower, and the painting is by Neil Griffin, which did the old library that's hanging over here. Our committee thought it would work well in this area. And so I don't know if you can see or not, but what we're suggesting or recommending actually.
Yeah, you can, most of us can see it from
Yeah.
right here.
So when somebody walks through this area, we have these paintings, we have the trophy here, and then we have this painting.
So it's our,
It will be hung with a command strip.
What did you say?
I said, too bad there's not a painting of the brick.
I was hoping you, okay,
Anyway,
I'm not gonna tell the story.
good, good. Come back, Michelle, save us.
okay, so as I was saying, it will be hung with a command strip, which is what I use for the abstracts downstairs in the periodical room, which seems to work quite well. And I think that would be, and this is very light anyways, I don't think it would damage the painting at all. But I'm hoping that the board will agree that with our committee's recommendation.
What I think we'll do, Michelle, is take your entire report and then the board can just accept your report.
Well, that's really all I have to report.
The art committee,
I mean, unless you want me to tell you what else we've been doing.
well, and the art
Okay.
committee had extensive discussion about the placement of the baths. And we
Oh,
even
that was-
had a
that was-
recommendation,
Okay,
and
okay.
it doesn't look
Yes.
like our recommendation was taken.
well,
Well-
because I don't think anybody approached the director for placement. When our committee met, we had discussed, Mary Jo had been approached by the DDA or somebody about putting one of the fish out, in
Yeah.
front of the library, which, Mary Jo, we all felt like, wouldn't this be great to be part of this whole event, be part of the community fish project, kind of thing. But John had shared that the bases were not completed. So we did a tour around the building and we thought that the children's garden would be perfect because, it's a really fun, they're all fun pieces, but anyway. So I was talking to Mary Jo earlier and she goes, I came in today and there was a fish and I'm like, oh, Well,
And that's how I felt. when I
yeah,
came
exactly.
into
So
it.
I'm not sure how to, I mean, I'm happy to get involved with that, but I mean, it's not,
I don't know.
it's not bad that it's out in front. I mean,
Right.
that's not a bad thing, but I think from what our discussion was, Mary Jo and I, that maybe we could eventually get it moved into the garden,
Hmm.
that type of thing. Let it stay out front as they start placing them all, so the
Mhm.
community gets used to them. And then we find a contact to find out how it arrived here and if we can have it moved, you know what I mean? Like, what's the process? And, you know, and I would be very happy to get involved in that, so. But, yes, ma'am.
So, I think that's a good idea.
Which one?
The whole thing about, yeah, I was surprised to see the fish in the,
Mhm.
in front of the building.
Yeah.
But, you know, leave it where it is.
Mhm.
Find out, you know, who we need to talk to move it, and then use it like, what's the word for a group of, not a group of fish, but, you know.
School of fish.
School,
School?
No, 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 no.
herd.
Like, no, like the study of, you know, like avian,
Fishy.
Oh, Physiology?
I don't know. Boring. I have two librarians in here and you don't even hear. Anyway. But use it like that, like Elf on the Shelf, and just keep moving it around.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is. I just know from what John said, the bases
No,
are very
I'm-
heavy, so
I'm
you
just
can't
being-
really.
Well,
That base is probably not the original base.
Okay,
That's just a portable base,
oh,
so,
okay, well,
so it's not 700 pounds?
no.
yeah,
Oh.
Study of fish, ichthyology,
Yeah,
something
okay.
like that.
Well,
I don't think people would be.
I'm thinking Ken
Comfortable
Boyd
with that.
should be that person, Ken Boyd. I'll
Yes.
I
contact
would
him.
think
Yes.
so.
Yeah, I'll contact him and get some more information.
and if it's not too much, you know, if it's too much of a big thing, then I guess we just
Well,
leave it, but
The
if
other
it
thing I
can
do
be
know
moved-
is that the Belleville Beat is doing a feature on each fish. I saw that
Oh.
on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
So maybe that's why they just, you know,
Got it
dropped it
here
in front of the library,
time.
because I did see a feed that said, can you guess where this is? Kind of
Oh,
thing.
Okay.
So, but I'll talk to Ken and get some more
this could be
information. Just,
temporary right now.
So how many fish are there?
I thought it was 15. No.
I think it's great the fish is there.
How many?
10,
10?
5 for Van Buren, 5 for
Are
Bell.
they heavy?
oh, okay.
Oh,
No,
okay, that's
That's
great.
a composite plastic.
Oh, so
The
we can
fish.
walk away with it?
You could walk away with it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's.
That's a little concerning.
Oh, that's not, you could actually pick that thing up?
With
Yeah,
that
without the
base?
base, yeah,
Oh, without the base.
yeah.
Oh. Well,
Is it attached to the base?
I don't know, I didn't put it there.
I'll look on the way out, but I think it's
We walk.
gotta be attached, otherwise it would come off,
yeah.
Did anybody
It would
see
fly
them do
off.
it today?
right?
It was on Saturday. Oh, was that Saturday?
In the dead of night.
Oh.
They snuck
We were
over
out of
here.
town, so it wasn't me.
They snuck over here. Well, yeah, we had a very good meeting, that our committee had a very good meeting, and Michelle runs a good meeting, and we have very good, wide, extensive discussion. And everybody in Belleville should listen to our art committee.
Okay, and Van Buren and
And Van Buren.
let's include everybody.
So Sumter's not getting a fish.
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Rosemary knows more than I do.
What's the
but-
Well, it
question?
was
Sumter's
discussed.
not
There were
getting
5
Oh,
for
okay.
Van Buren and 5 for Belleville, but were there any for Sumter?
I don't think there were that many.
No, they didn't. They don't go to Sumter. They didn't go to Sumter.
So if you want any, let me share a little bit more, since Sharon has suggested that when I put we have all our rods for our hanging system. We got everything that we ordered, so that's great. I've got one rod hanging now to see the length, and if we leave the rods up, we will not add extensions to them, because that's where the kids could grab it. Like right now, it's like perfect. And we did talk to Cheryl Wagner, who's part of BACA. And after this particular show this weekend, we would like to have that be our next exhibit. So, and I'm hoping no more than like 15 pieces, do a small thing. And I came up with a exhibitor agreement, which I had Doug Peters look at just for feedback, which he gave me, which was great. And then I resend it to the art committee. So I think we're ready that, we can talk to them after this weekend. Maybe we can do it like after Thanksgiving, get all the information, I can do little title cards and get them. But that's basically what we've been working on besides getting the little things taken care of, getting the abstracts hung and getting that document that John will have to sign, that when we take a artwork on loan, we make sure that the person that's loaning to us, that they understand that they're responsible financially if anything happens to the painting. A library is not responsible for anything. It's a loan. So anyway, but we're very happy about it. I think it would work really well there. The art committee thought. So I think that's kind of what we've been doing. But
Are there any questions of Michelle?
no.
Would there be a motion to accept the art committee report, which will mean that we will also accept the recommendation on that page?
I'll second.
It's been moved by Juriga and supported by Dawson that the art committee report be accepted.
I really thank you for moving me up the agenda. That was very nice of you.
You're very
I'll
well.
be better. Well, I am kind of prepared, but I'll be more prepared.
Michelle, did you want to tell us about the art show this coming weekend, even though it's not on the
This
agenda?
weekend.
Oh, I really haven't been that involved except that I get to do the program, which I just saw the listing. And it looks like we have quite a few young people this year.
Good.
Which is great. We have 2 judges. I know Mary Jo is a guest judge. I don't know who else is a guest judge. I can't tell you that, but it looks like from what I looked at briefly, I just got the file before I came here. It looks like the 2D adult is not, there's some, but not as many as 2 years ago. So that's interesting. And then teens, there's a fair amount, but kind of is like 2019. But I found that there's a lot of the children, so that should be kind of
Good. Good.
great. And that reminds, I do have to order something else for the hanging system for the kids things. I thought we had clamps, and that's not what was ordered. So I have to revisit that. I'll talk to you about that. Okay.
So that's the Baca Art Show
Yes.
at the BYC at 7 p.m. on Friday.
On Friday.
Friday.
And that would be a wonderful activity for everyone who is able to participate.
But it's also, Friday is opening cash bar. It's also open on Saturday and Sunday, like from 11 to 6 and 11 to 4 on Sunday, I believe. So if you can't come on Friday,
Good.
at least stop by. And hopefully the artists will be willing to exhibit their art here in the library, and which I think will be really fun. I'm kind of looking forward to that. So, and it'll be, if any of the 2D art, well, we're hoping for the winners to be displayed. That's how I'm going with the 15. We've discussed that a little bit at the art committee about if usually there's 15 awards. And I think that would be the best way to do this exhibit. If we want to invite other artists in the future, we have to work that out. I would like to keep it with like the exhibit at BYC, excuse me, and then take the winners and exhibit them here if they haven't sold. If they haven't sold. Yeah. But if they all sell, then we'll do something different. We'll figure something out. Yeah, I'll work with Cheryl on it.
Good.
So, thank you.
We still have our motion on the
Oh, yeah.
table. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by saying nay. The ayes have it. There are no dissenting votes. Thank you very much, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
I'll get this hung in the next week or so, okay? I'll make
Great,
sure that we get it
great.
up. And John, I'll make sure I get that paperwork to you. Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you
For coming.
Now we'll move to item B, which is the building committee report, and Joy Chehevitz is here to give that report.
Law Mechanical is finishing up on the HVAC. They expect to be done before Thanksgiving. And that includes the bipolar ionization. And everything needs to be insulated. They finished the piping, close to being done. Community room Yeah, it has, needs piping for fire suppression. No, the piping for fire, I gotta understand my writing. Piping for fire suppression is interfering with the recessed blinds. And Dean is on it.
The pipes are too long and they need to be shortened.
Yeah,
There's like access pipe that's not,
it's
it's not necessary to the system.
Yeah. The irrigation system for the landscaping is turned off.
It's been drained too, right?
Yes.
There may be sediment in the water lines. They're looking at installing a filter on this side of the water meter. Mary Jo saw some sediment in the dishwasher filter, which may be contributing perhaps to our dishwasher issues. They're adding some track lighting in the children's room as you walk into the story room. The lights will be in 3 weeks. All of the small signage pieces are on their last check for changes, which, I mean, how many pieces is that?
A million.
A million?
It's been forever, like my granddaughter said, it's taking forever.
The radiant heat has been on and is working on in the entrance in the story room.
That's on the floors, right?
Yep. The curtain wall is still leaking in the same spot. And there's also leaking under the terrace on the first floor. It's staining. There's stains from that leak there. So you're gonna have to keep looking into that. And the bees produce 20 pounds of honey.
How many?
20 pounds.
What's gonna happen with that? Does anyone know?
I don't know. What
I
did happen to
thought
the
bees
honey?
and
Did
were
they
gonna
leave it in
donate
there?
it to Therese Antonelli and,
Well, they have to leave some in there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
Right.
did they take it? Take honey?
They took yeah,
Yeah.
so, I think it will be up to Therese to decide, you know, if she wants to donate that to the library. I haven't heard anything since then. They took it, the day before Harvest Fest.
They took combs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frames.
So how many pounds would they rough guess would they have to leave? for?
I can't tell you because I don't use those kinds of hives. I don't know enough about it, but 20 pounds, what, small bag of dog food? The honey's heavy. Honey's a heavy thing.
So does something have to happen to it first? Do they?
With that kind of hive, so your honeycomb, when the bees have dried it out enough, the nectar out enough, they cap the comb, each little cell with wax. And so they will take and slice off that cap, just a really thin slice. They'll put it in an extractor that spins the honey out of that with centrifugal force, and they can put the honeycomb back into the hive so the bees can keep using it. And they'll do that for a couple years and then get rid of that honeycomb because it has a tendency to get pesticides in it over time.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
So the term beeswax comes
from that wax. That wax,
oh,
so that old wax is melted down and eventually and filtered because it's black by that time. And then it's beautiful yellow, yummy smelling beeswax.
cool.
Yeah.
I have Rick bought me a cylinder pole. It's like a coil candle made out of beeswax. Doesn't burn very long and then it gets to the point where it stops and you have to actually mold it to soften it to get it to come up. It burns like about this much And then there's like a pincher thing and it just stops.
Huh,
Yeah.
not a well-made candle.
No, it's
It's meant to do that?
it's supposed to do that.
Oh, okay.
I'll bring it next time and try it.
There you go. There were two other things I remember. One has to do that the blinds for the main meeting room are still in process. For the main meeting room and that side of the building, whatever direction that is. And the other is that John learned a wonderful lesson about clover in lawns. He just loved it.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
Yeah.
I criticized the company who put our grass in because I said they used an inferior grade of seed where we got a great number of weeds and clover in the grass. And I think it looks terrible. Well, but then I got shot down by these bee people who thinks
Clover is
good for
wonderful.
bees.
It is good for
And
me.
it's
but
good.
I
not
understand
just
that,
about that.
But our agenda was, we paid for grass.
Uh-oh, I brought up something to let John go back on over all the whole thing.
Okay,
Anyway, we'll manage and make sure that if we get our money's worth out of the lawn people as well as explore environmentally sound ways to.
So this
handle
is either glass half full or glass half
Right.
empty.
Exactly. Is there anything else? Anybody else have
yes,
something?
the bollards out in front were
Oh.
supposed to be sealed because the second bollard towards the parking lot has a fracture in it. And I was afraid to get, in the wintertime, might get water in there, break apart. But anyway, they said they want to seal that, but it's too cold to seal it now. So it will be done.
Okay. So we have another building committee coming the beginning of December. But we're moving along very well. And thank you very much for the report. Is there any other comments or questions for Joy about the building committee or the building issue or a building issue? Hearing none, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the bylaws committee. John?
I have no report.
All righty, then we'll move to item D, which is the finance committee. Tanya?
Excuse me, do we vote on building committee?
No, ordinarily we don't.
Oh, okay. I just saw the part where Michelle, that's fine.
We just, by our colleagues on the board report what's happening on our committees and we just all listen. Item D is the finance committee. Tanya?
Yes, so I have reviewed the financial statements that are included in your packet. The first schedule is the general fund for the first quarter of this fiscal year, which started July 1st and ended on September 30th. So if you look halfway down this first page, you'll see the grand total for our revenues. That first column shows the annual budget. And then you see the 3-month budget followed by our 3-month actuals and payment variance. So you'll see here that although for our grand total revenues, we have the $2 million budget, the 3-month budget is $534,000 and change. And the unfavorable amount is the $2,551. However, I believe Mary Jo, you indicated that on October 1st, we received our penal fine, so we're actually favorable with our revenues for the first quarter. And the rest of this report shows our expenditures, so I will kind of go through this really quickly. Starting off with some of the highlights, be looking at our salaries, which is typically a huge part of our budget. The total salaries for the year is the $968. And you'll see the 3-month budget is 242, our actual is 200,000. So we're favorable here. Going down, benefits favorable. And then our supplies also favorable. And then going to the next page, you'll see the total professional fees. And here again, favorable. And then going down, you'll see the total contracted services. Again, this looks favorable as well. And then we have our total telephone and communications, looks fine. And when you get though to our total insurance, you'll see that the 3-month budget is 9,500. Our actual is 14,705. And Mary Jo, I think this is just more of a timing issue.
Yes.
Utilities favorable, total applications favorable. And then we go to the next page and you see total miscellaneous, again favorable. So our total expenditures, our overall budget is the $2,075,900. Our 3-month budget is the $518,975, and our actual is just under $400,000. So we are $127,000 to the good just in the first quarter.
Wonderful.
That looks great.
Yeah.
The next schedule is for last fiscal year. So this is the period that ended on June 30th, 2021. And if you go to the middle of the page, you'll see a total grand revenues. Did I say grand total revenues? And the budget is 2.1 million, and our actual came in $129,760 above. And then looking again at our total for salaries, favorable by $62,954. Benefits favorable. Total supplies favorable by $95.36. And then you go to the next page, you'll see the total professional fees. And that's favorable by over $15,000. And then if you look at the total contracted services, again, favorable by over $66,000. Telephone and telecommunications, favorable by $5,200 change. Insurance is fine, $13,721 to the good. Utilities, favorable as well. And I know this was a tricky one for us to budget for because we just really didn't know how much we might need. So we came out almost 30,000 there. And then for total printing and publications, favorable here.
Question on page 1, probably for Mary Jo. Says on page 1 it says salaries, library aides, total salaries favorable, $62,000. What does that mean?
Last year was a really weird year because of COVID and all of our closures, and we haven't really fully run into our staff salary budget yet.
Oh,
But I couldn't predict COVID when I made the budget.
gotcha. Okay, I understand. Thank
Which
you.
is also.
We're still growing into our,
Heating and cooling, all of that stuff.
we're still growing into our budget.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank
So
you.
our staff will still be growing.
Right.
So that eventually that kind of
Right.
amount will be taken up with new staff, right?
Right.
It's always better to be a little to the good, but we don't wanna.
Well, this is a year that's not, there's nothing normal about this year.
Yeah.
This is not your test year, you know,
Right.
to set your budgets for
Right, this
future
is not our
years.
baseline. This is not our baseline budget, so. And then on the third page for total expenditures, you'll see our budget is $1,958,000. Our actuals were just under 1.6. So we ended up $370,000 on the expenditure side, and then you add that to the favorable amount on the revenues is how we get that $500,000.
But again, we anticipate that as we actually move into fully operating and fully staffing, we will be closer to what our budgeted amounts are. And we won't be talking, I mean, it's not like we're just hoarding a lot of money for no reason.
Our salaries and benefits equal or below the average librarian gets paid.
I was actually looking at the last the Detroit Suburban Library Roundtable is a group of libraries in Southeast Michigan. And I was actually looking at the data from last year, the 2020 year, and comparing our salaries to that data, and we are under.
But didn't.
Under,
when we
Under
opened
under those averages for other libraries that are our size
Appreciably
populations.
under,
we've got an extremely loyal staff, and it's just, that's another story.
Yeah,
Well,
I would say
something
it ranges
talk
depending on
about
the,
that,
it ranges depending on the position, but this is something I'm starting to look at.
This is something that's
Yeah.
gonna be coming up in this next
Yeah.
month.
So the personnel
So I'm-
committee would-
Our personnel committee might want to go
Yeah.
over this
Yeah.
with our director and
And with
Review
the
it every
finance,
year.
yeah.
I would say roughly it probably ranges, and you would, like, I would say maybe I average 5% lower. If you just average all of the positions together, but.
well, we want.
And
our
this is
people
older
to be
data,
well
this is
taken
older,
care
this
of.
is data from a year ago. The new stats probably won't be out until, we haven't gotten the survey yet for this year even, so I don't know when the new data will be out.
Cost
Probably
of
not
living
till
is really
February,
gone
so,
up too, so
so yeah.
that
I
has to be
think-
taken
I
into
think,
consideration.
you're right.
I guess that's increased like 5-6%.
Yeah, it really has. So,
I think the health insurance here is better than most libraries.
Health insurance is pretty good.
How many benefits do they have? What kind of benefits do our librarians, or not librarians, our staff have? Do they have eye, dental, all the above?
Full-time employees have, yeah,
Full-time.
full-time employees have health benefits, dental, eye, retirement, deferred,
For comp.
well, they have a deferred comp plan and defined contributions.
Thank you.
is the word.
Okay.
But I would like to look at making sure, I mean, basically, if you work 20 or more hours, you get prorated sick and vacation time. But I would actually like to reevaluate that for everybody.
Oh, what is the sick and vacation?
For a full-time, it's. Let me double check on that. I don't want to, I think it's,
A long time ago, it was 2 weeks.
well, the
Isn't that what I
the
was
vacation
looking
time
at?
is 8 hours. For entry level, it's 8 hours a month.
Oh, okay.
But the sick time, I'm trying to remember if it's, I want 32 hours is sticking in my head of sick time every year, but I can't. I need to go double check that number.
Do you have sick days, like teachers get
Yeah.
10 days a year?
There's a certain number of sick days a year, yeah,
Do we
and
have,
personal business days.
do we have a number?
I do, I can go look at it for you.
I think those are the items that, I mean, to go into depth, the personnel committee would do that within.
we're gonna get.
And report back, and John, you can, it will be Linda, you can sit in the backyard
Sure.
and tell them what to ask.
I would
The
encourage her
part-time-
to give everybody a raise. I'm afraid.
Part-time
After all we've
employees,
been through.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
part-time employees get prorated retirement.
They don't get prorated retirement.
Okay.
but at least our employees, we were able to keep them keep them paid
They get more
during the
prorated.
COVID.
time
We
off.
didn't have to.
During this whole process, they were very loyal. The
Oh, they've
entire
been
staff.
fantastic.
They were
Yeah,
loyal
just-
and I think we were loyal to them as well. And
Yeah.
that
And
was the way it
flexible,
should be.
considering all that's
No,
happened.
they've been wonderful,
Yeah.
so.
And we have so many activities. I wonder if we have enough staff. I mean, do you feel like sufficiently staffed?
Well, we don't have that many librarians. How many do we have?
We're looking at adding, we did have, the last time we added a librarian, we had a small pool of applicants. And we were fortunate, we found a good one, but it was a small pool, so this is something that's starting to hit libraries.
So even with libraries, there's a staffing, shortage of.
I think it depends on the position.
Depends on the
I had a
position.
cert position and
Yeah.
32 applicants, which is good. A couple were throwaways, but
I do have a couple more schedules.
But it is something that I've been giving some thought to, so I would like to have a personnel committee meeting soon.
And that's useful because the next, well, not quite the next.
So
Tanya's
two
been
more
going.
schedules.
Okay,
So the next one is both the debt retirement fund and our capital projects. The first one is for the first quarter of this fiscal year. So if you look at our revenues, we are a little bit unfavorable, but I again think that's a timing thing because our budget is just spread evenly across the months. But when we receive our taxes is it the first of the year?
We received the bulk of them at the beginning of the year.
So that'd be in January.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, later in
So
our
that
fiscal
catches up
year, it'll
later.
be more. even.
And then if you look at our capital projects, you'll see that our 22 budget is just over $1 million. So the first quarter budget is $255,000. The actual, we've only spent $2,400. So here we do have a significant balance remaining in our capital budget. And, the last schedule is just for last fiscal year. And here you will see that we actually ended up receiving more in taxes than we had budgeted. We're favorable by $16,000. Expenses. And then with our capital, you'll see that we had the $2 million budget. Our expenses are 1.7. But I don't want anybody to be concerned about the construction work in progress where we have the $2 million budget. And it looks here like we have the equipment and furniture doesn't have a budget, but we actually, both those expenses come out of the $2 million budget. So,
And the audit, those all get lumped together under one number.
so we're fine.
For the ones of us who have gone to the building committee meetings, that boiler refund is of interest. Can somebody talk to us about that?
and there's a construction. what's that?
Contingency,
Contingency, thank you.
Mm.
That
But the
we
bo-
expect to have some cap. It's some
Yeah.
Couple $100,000.
we should have that, but the boiler refund is because of the additional boiler or
Because they undersized it.
they
and
undersized it,
was
so we got the
cold
refund.
and so then they had, yeah, and it was a mistake on their.
On their part, yeah, we had to add a boiler, and so we got some money back from that. Good, because we went through several hours, John can tell you exactly how many, having to address that boiler problem. But we got it done.
That's all I have.
Well, that's quite a bit.
Thank you.
I sure like how you describe it.
I'm glad they know what you're doing.
Well, Mary Jo makes this job very easy. So.
Yeah, but you describe it so nice. Thank you. So are there any questions for the finance committee that have not already been posed? In that case, we will move along, and we do appreciate the thoroughness of the report. And we will move along to the marketing committee, which has been very busy. And I'm very grateful to that committee because I have been a little bit AWOL. But the committee has come up with a lot of very good ideas. I looked at the reports, but I'll let you go with that, Alma, and the rest of you might help to fill out the
report.
Okay, we met on October the 27th and we discussed the grand opening. And we also talked about the donors event as well. So what I'm gonna talk about first is the grand opening. And we've tentatively set a date for Saturday, April the 9th, which is during National Library Week. And we decided on a start time of 1 o'clock and an end time of 3 o'clock. And we're in the process of putting together, we're anticipating at least 500 people will be in attendance. And Michelle has agreed to design the invitations or whatever we're going to send out. Let's see. And Michelle also agreed to create the flyers that we're going to make available also. And notify Rosemary of the event so that we can also advertise in that as well.
Okay. Who's gonna tell Rosemary?
It's a good idea. And we're looking to have live entertainment.
What kind?
Beverly,
We have a variety of performers we can kind of go to that are arsenal people who have performed for us before. Also, we're looking at possibly getting some members of the jazz band from the high school.
right. And I think we had discussed that there's 2 middle schools in the area also. We'll do a little bit more research on that. We also talked about the library staff will handle the library displays and information. And possibly John Tarita doing some drone photos.
Well, we talked about the drone video of the construction project.
Your son doesn't have,
Yeah.
your son doesn't have that drone, does he anymore?
His company, no.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So we
Maybe
basically
we
want to put together some photos and videos of the project.
Okay. Good.
We
Using
have
the
hundreds.
old copies of what we did or new stuff?
Still what we have already. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good.
And we also discussed the time capsule. And Lindsay has assured us that she will be around.
Yes. With her walker.
With her what?
With her walker.
She'll be the only one that'll still be around.
She
to
was-
open the time capsule.
She was the youngest one in the room. She said, I'll be here even if I can with a walker. Because whenever, I can't tell you how many stories I've seen where somebody will do a time capsule, city or state or whatever, and all the people that put it in the place are dead and nobody can remember.
Yeah.
Where they said it would be.
City of Belleville.
They did that.
They've lost it in Victory Park.
Right.
I think they know where. I don't know. 50 years?
Richard Smith said, now, did he say he was there when they buried it, or he thinks he knows where it is? Was one of the two. I don't know.
I need to put something in there that you can detect with a metal detector or something. You know, I think it's under the play equipment right there. by-
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She wasn't there.
I'm thinking he said he was there when they planted the Sergeant Batson, whatever he buried it.
It's a shame to dig up that hole.
I'm looking for it. No, I think it was the swing. No, I think it was the slide.
When we were just putting this building together, we had a ceremony out in the parking lot. Couple hundred people, everyone signed the beam, and then they picked up the beam and placed it in the building. Is there any possibility of moving some tile to show this beam with lights, just, and then put the tiles back later on to do that? I just wonder if that's a possibility.
I thought we talked to Dean and Matt about that and they said no.
Okay,
I thought,
too.
I thought we talked about it last week. or
Okay.
2 weeks, or whatever it was.
yeah,
okay.
And I think they aren't
Stand
too
corrected then. I guess that-
enthusiastic.
Maybe there's some video of
But there was, when we initially.
Yeah, we took
talked to
pictures.
them,
Yeah,
The
okay.
ceremony, yeah. I have all kinds of photos and videos.
I've done
It's gonna be
hundreds of
quite an
photos.
undertaking.
Library baby pictures.
Oh, that's cute.
Here's my library in its first trimester.
That's cute. Very cute. Birth of the library.
so we signed that beam. Everybody that was on the district library committee, you know, to get out from under Wayne County, was there to sign it, except for Bill Ham
Yeah.
and Alan Bates. So I put their names on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
And we're going to review our options for, we'll have to decide on a caterer. And we've agreed to use the colors in the library's new logo for decorations. What else? Lindsay mentioned doing a treasure hunt as
Yeah.
well for the grand openings. Any questions about the grand opening before I start talking about the
Donor.
donors?
I
event?
actually have a comment.
Oh,
The Westland Library is celebrating their 25th anniversary and they had an open house this last weekend. So I sent Lindsay over to do some reconnaissance for us. And you know, so a lot of the ideas that we have that we're looking at implementing, they were doing for this open house. So I felt like, oh, we're on the right track. So, but she got a lot of great ideas from them, so.
Good. Lindsay is a great help.
yeah, she is. She's phenomenal and so energetic and so willing to
Yeah.
always help, you know. So
And
she's an
again,
asset.
will we be inviting the head of the Library of Congress to speak?
We have,
Well, I think they're.
we have wanted to do that. When we were planning the, you know, in the early 2020, I wrote a letter to, a formal letter to Debbie Dingle and asked her, we had talked to her, I think we even talked to her at the groundbreaking
Yeah.
about that. And she said, you know, she had brought the Library of Congress librarian Hayden, maybe her Hayden, to Taylor. And she was willing to talk about it again. She just said, I think the grand opening would be the best time for you to do it and let me know. Well, then I sent that letter and I was gonna follow up, but then COVID hit. So we haven't approached it again. I think that's our best link, but if there's another link, Mary Jo, to Carla Hayden,
The only hangup would be it's National Library Week and she may be
Very
extremely
busy.
busy, you know,
Yeah.
the timing is, it's not like. all
well,
week.
you know, we could also reach out for her to come anytime she can come and we
Sure.
could certainly make a wonderful event. But you're right, during National Library Week, maybe Belleville won't be the very first item on the agenda, but you never know.
Gotta ask them.
You never know. Yeah, we'll have to start asking now. And I would think following up through asking through our Congresswoman, if there's another approach that anybody thinks of, we could follow that too.
You write a letter to her directly.
To Dingle.
No.
Oh, to Carla Hayden. Could do that. We could do both. So we will. Is that okay? Mary Jo and I will,
Can
Mary
you
Jo
add
and
that to your
I,
agenda then? year.
You could make a note of that, Alma, and keep us on track to do that.
Is this the one where we said we were gonna have some children involved?
Mhm.
And that was that discussed at all?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out the best way to.
Were you able
have
to
them
be
help
at
us
the?
out. Yeah.
I couldn't be
Oh,
there.
I couldn't either. So I thought you were there with a
I
bunch
got
of
a new-
bubbling
how do you
ideas.
remember the night before?
She was on
Maybe-
maternity leave.
Yeah. Maybe, maybe have a child write to her, Carla,
Oh.
you know.
Oh, that might be cute.
Just, I don't know if that would be effective, but it might be one way. You could do both.
We could put use a child's letter in with our letter and
Talk about,
make her know it's very
and
official.
talk about how beautiful our children are.
Yeah.
Because I think that would.
Well, and then we remember that, not Amira, but Naima Yarborough, Kenya Yarborough's daughter, took advantage of when the woman visited in Taylor and she became personal friends. And then Carla Hayden invited her to the Library of Congress, which Kenya followed up on when they went to visit Washington, DC. So maybe they're chummy enough
Well,
that,
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, children appeal, and she
Yeah.
likes that appeal, so maybe that is.
well, she's a true librarian.
Yeah.
So maybe we could ask Naima to help us. in
Talk
this
about her
effort.
favorite book.
How old is she now?
Naima is in, she's the last year of middle school or the first year of
She's
high
in high
school.
school,
It's
I
just,
think, yeah.
So how old was she then?
Shorter.
it was a couple years
You're just
ago.
full of zingers today, aren't you?
Oh, Mary,
It's what I-
she's always.
it's
full
what
of
I do.
zingers.
Today especially though.
She is always, yeah, I think
When
that's
she was
what
a
she
little
does.
child, when she talked to Carla and got invited.
Naima,
I'm thinking she must have been about 10, maybe.
yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It was before COVID, like everything in the world.
Yeah,
It was
that's how-
before COVID and after COVID.
BC and AC.
Well, there's been some good ideas about how to invite her. And so we will pursue them all. And yeah, it would be great if we get her for the opening, or it would be great if we pique her interest and get her anytime, because we can make an event of it. Okay, so can Alma go on to the donor event?
Okay. That's gonna be on Friday, March the 11th. And a start time of 6:30 p.m. And we didn't decide definitely on an end time unless there's something different on somebody else's notes that I possibly missed. And we're gonna have that on the first floor of the library. And we're anticipating about 100 people attending. Michelle again has agreed to design the invitations. And we're gonna do something kind of sparkly and.
Champagne, it's sparkly. You're laughing, I'm serious.
Very possibly.
Our librarians are on this, they were looking up library themed cocktails, so.
I'm a realist.
I'm almost afraid of what they might come up with. That will be an invitation only event, and it will include very expansively the people that donated to this. And it'll be held in the main conference room, but it'll be all over the library so that everybody can see what they donated and what other people donated.
How many total donors are
There were quite a few.
At least 40
there?
to
100
50.
sounded
so,
small.
But we're,
Yeah.
But by the time you invite their
their
Right.
family
Families.
there.
Yeah,
you know.
I know, that's why
Yeah.
And we
it
were
seems
trying-
small.
Yeah, we were trying to
Yeah,
decide on how we're
how
gonna
many
do that.
guests can you have? Let's say a donor. I can, geez.
Well, if it's, I think it's sort of like a wedding invitation. You send it to Mr. and Mrs. John Doe. Doesn't say and family. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think, my vision is not having children running around through the library.
Right.
To me, this is an adult event. The grand opening is, inclusive to whatever size person you are.
Especially if there's cocktails.
Right,
Right.
right. So it'd be, we talked about having an RSVP card,
Yeah,
and you write down the number, so we know. But anytime I've ever received an invitation to a wedding or any kind of an event, if it said Mr. and Mrs., that was it. I didn't invite my kids, I didn't invite my daughters-in-law, my grandkids, it was just two
but on the,
people.
but on the donor list, if it says so-and-so and family, what do you do there?
Do you have that many people
We
that
we
do
don't know
that?
if we're gonna put the family. thing
well,
in
the
there.
only
We're
donor
gonna
that
try
I think we have family in is the
a couple of people.
Eureka family terrace and the edges.
I mean, we're not gonna card people at the door, we're not gonna.
What is the dress?
Sparkly
Ball
fancy.
gowns and
Sparkly.
tuxedos.
Yeah,
Tuxedos?
No, women
Just
are
for
wearing
you,
the
John.
tuxedos, the guys
You
are
wear
wearing.
tuxedos.
ball gowns. Ball gowns. That'd be good, John. I don't think we've gotten that far, quite that
Okay,
far, but
okay.
Yeah.
sorry.
basically, it's an upscale event.
He wants to go shopping.
He wants to look for his
Love
ball gowns. I think that's great.
Like the other event we had at the house.
Yeah.
Similar to
Yeah,
that.
similar to that one that was kicking off
That was-
our donation.
What's that?
No ball
No
gowns
spark.
there,
No ball gowns?
not even sparkling. But this is a celebration. That was asked for money.
Yeah.
This is a thank you. This
Yeah.
is really a gratitude, showing our gratitude.
Are we inviting former board members?
They, to the opening, to
Okay.
the grand opening, and I think, I don't know what was decided in the meetings that I missed, but I think we're gonna have them now on the plaque. And I think we should have either special seating or some kind of
We should have,
recognition
yeah, they should be.
at the April event. I think they would only be invited to the donor event if they were donors.
Right.
We did have donors, remember the last year's Van Buren Township Board?
Yeah, donate
The
1,000.
individuals on that board donated
Right.
toward their $1,000. And so we probably
they-
need to make
yeah,
sure
they
that
would-
those individuals
They
are
would be
invited.
invited.
Yeah, I think you might want to up it to about 120.
Well, this is just a ballpark
Yeah.
estimate.
Yeah. And we discussed getting a temporary license from the state. Mary Jo and Hillary will.
For the champagne liquor license, temporary liquor license.
And MJ Dawson is going to.
I'm gonna research bartenders.
Oh,
If not, she'll fill in, right?
As long as you want a Bloody Mary, I can make those really well.
Yeah, so we're still reviewing our options for the food that will be, because it will be a catered event. And we're still trying to decide on the form of entertainment, who's gonna provide the entertainment as well. And still trying to decide on the decorating theme. And we're talking about doing giveaways also. We're looking into some options for that. swag bags or something, or something kind of like a memento for people. Just so they'll have something they can hold on to and say that they were, contributors. And we're gonna, I don't know if we need to talk about the church and all that.
Church.
I think that was,
Yeah.
I think that was more for the, like if we need parking
For the
for
grand
the
opening.
grand opening.
Yeah.
As long as they don't have a funeral or a wedding.
Right. And
True.
that's pretty much it for me. And our next meeting is scheduled for tentatively, because we haven't decided, or I didn't see the email. We were gonna do December 1st.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think gonna check to see if that
If that would date work.
Yeah.
I put it on my calendar December 1st. I hope I'll do better and be there in
So 3
person.
o'clock.
Feel free.
So is it as the first?
Yeah.
Because it was someone that was at the meeting that.
Yeah, I think it was Michelle. I don't know if she replied. Yes, that day works for her, so that should be fine.
Okay.
Good. Are there any questions, any further questions to Alma on the marketing report? That was it. They've been working hard and they have committed to listing the various tasks, all the kind of things that Alma just reported on are captured in a good statement that they put together. So I think we're moving right along. The next item on our agenda is the Personnel Committee, and we've had some discussion that maybe Linda wants to talk about, and then it's getting time for the Personnel Committee to,
Right, which is what I want to talk about, is when will we set up the meeting?
Okay. Either anytime, basically. I think last year we postponed it until I think you did my review in January.
Okay.
Prior years you've done it in December, so,
usually we do it in December.
yeah.
So
So that's.
And the only
that's
reason
good
we
for
did
me.
it,
What's good for
December's
you?
fine.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember if we did evening, we did it during the day. But we'll do it during the evening, if you're working. So what's a good,
And then you have to
Right.
survey the board, right?
yes. We have a discussion first. I'll look at all my old notes, but,
I mean, if you're good with the same questionnaire and everything, we you can just send that out and then have to schedule a meeting to review it.
okay.
If you want to do it that way, that would be okay. So it's up
And
to
then
you
don't we-
guys, yeah.
Do we need to talk about what we were talking about at this meeting with the salaries and,
I'd like to at least start having that discussion. That's probably gonna be a couple of meetings worth.
okay,
I want to look at salaries. I also want to look at the, we haven't really updated the personnel policy in a long time. So, and some of the
Okay.
things we're talking about with days off and things like that, I really want to, review that and update that too, so.
So it sounds like for our director's review, the Personnel Committee needs to move along pretty soon about getting that started, but it also sounds like maybe some other meetings of the Personnel Committee will be
Forthcoming.
in order
Okay.
to look at
so after
broader
Thanksgiving,
personnel issues. Would that be like next year, early in 2022, or do you want to get that done?
I'd like
before
to
the-
get one meeting in just
Oh,
to
sure,
see,
yeah.
just to get
Well, the
a
next
feel
board,
for what.
the
is in
next
front of
board
me.
meeting is December 14th.
Okay,
So you guys should probably meet before that.
okay,
And I could dust off the review forms from last time and I could send it to you and to Tanya, and if those look fine, then we could just push them up for this year.
okay. And then, so you're going to send, if we okay them, then you're gonna send them to all the,
Or board, sure.
okay,
And then if you guys want to meet, give the board time to fill it out and maybe meet like the week of the
Just
The week
before
of
the library.
The week of December, well, or like the week of December 6th.
Is that good for you, Jen? Okay. What's a good day for you?
Maybe a Tuesday, the 7th.
Like 6:30 or 6 or 6:30
We can do,
earlier?
we can do, well, 6 is early.
Oh, okay.
So, but 6 is fine.
6, okay, let's do 6 o'clock on the 7th. Does that be good to have it done before the board meeting? Okay.
Okey dokey. Well, that was very productive.
Mhm.
So the personnel committee is gonna kick into some operation there. Their no report period is kind of over for
Right.
a while. And finally, it's the policy committee. Mary Jane, are there any?
Well, it sounds like we need to review the policy committee for personnel.
Personnel
So
policy?
you want to come to that meeting?
Well,
Because will she have to do that? Or who
Would
does
that be
that?
helpful or not? Would that be too much?
In the past, the personnel committee has dealt with the personnel policy, even though it's a policy,
Okay,
so I don't know.
That's
But
fine.
you're more than welcome to
okay, when's your meeting? I wasn't paying attention. Was it this fall?
December 7th at 6 p.m.
That's Pearl Harbor Day.
That is. Pearl Harbor. So we would welcome your
very good.
You
for-
said 6 o'clock.
input.
So kind of laying the groundwork for it. I want to have some, I've been informally talking with my department heads, but I want to have some conversations with them too, so.
Is there anything we should be looking at before then? Like I know you talked about looking at some other,
Well, I'll have a document with,
the roundtable.
yeah.
Yeah.
I started working on a draft of it, so I'll have that available.
So there's not anything, no way to prepare for that, just wait till the meeting.
I'll send out the existing personnel policy.
Okay.
I'll try to find the existing salary schedule,
And we'll just
existing
mark it all up.
policy. And then, yeah,
Okay,
but, you know, I mean, I want to do it right. I don't want to
right.
rush the policy part.
Mhm.
And it's something we'll have to have an attorney look at it.
I don't think it hasn't changed since we did it the last time.
No.
I might have copies of it.
Okay, yeah, and we definitely do. So. It's been a while since it got, I think the last, oh God, I don't even know. The last time that he had an update, I think, I want to say 2013 or 15 possibly for the policy.
Well,
Yeah.
if it was done, we came on in
Because I thought-
2014.
Yeah, I think. we did
So
that.
it might have been done
I don't think it's
2015.
changed. It hasn't changed.
Well, I have no report.
But you get a meeting to go
Yeah.
to. All righty, then we're on item 7, which is approval of accounts payable, which you have in your packet.
That's a motion to approve accounts payable.
Been moved by Shahevitz and
I'll second
supported by Freeze. That the accounts payable be approved. Generally, we do have some discussion. I want you to look them over and ask any questions before we vote.
What are RFID tags?
Those are radio frequency ID tags, and one tag goes in each book that we own. And that's how we can tell what books get checked in and out, how people can use the self-check machines and our automated materials handling
I
system.
thought that was old, oh. Okay.
We have to, yeah. Okay,
It's been done years, long time ago.
What program did Hattie?
we just started putting the RFID tags on, prior to this move, but we keep buying new books all the time, so we needed more tags.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I understand.
Okay,
Okay, what is
Yeah.
$450 for polo shirts?
we
Design line.
bought shirts for the staff with our library logo on them, so it's like a
Okay.
uniform shirt.
Will they be required to wear them or
No,
will it be
it's
optional?
optional.
So frequently we will see
You will see
staff
staff with
in
a
those
shirt,
polo
yeah.
shirts. What color are they?
They had a choice between blue and gray, so there's two different colors.
And all the staff have name tags, right?
All the staff have name tags. Yeah, we just got the new ones with the new logo.
Can we do new staff, new board name tags, please?
That was my question.
Okay.
Mary Jo, I looked up canopy when I was signing the check. Is that something new though? I wasn't sure. if
That's
it was
new.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome once we get that going.
The what?
Canopy, it's like hoopla, only better. I think it's better because it's,
Oh.
Better than Hoopla?
I think so. I think the selection is great.
Okay.
so.
For
Yeah.
movies, it's
Yeah.
It's movie specific. It's not
So
just
much
books.
to learn.
And it has lots of documentaries,
Yeah.
if you like documentaries.
Oh, good.
Do they have a limit like Hoopla does?
We,
They do, but I can't remember.
yeah, I wanna say we set it at 5 or 6 per person per month.
I was watching a series and I had to wait till the next to watch it. Because it was a French series.
Okay, they have
Couldn't
some,
get anywhere else.
and I know they have some different plans, like some kid-friendly plans for, where they're not quite as prohibitive, so. Yeah.
Does it-
Check out, yeah.
Does it work out that, beginning of the month to the end of the month, or is it a month from the time you check it out?
I'll have to look. into
Okay.
that, I'm not sure.
Another quick question, those hotspots.
The hotspots,
How's that going?
so far so good. Yeah, they've been pretty popular.
And people are bringing them back.
They're bringing them back, yeah. There's no reason to keep it because we shut the service off if you know,
Yeah.
once you're 3 days or up, it doesn't work anymore, so.
People love them when they go
Yeah.
on vacation.
Yeah. There, right?
Exactly what is that? Explain it to me.
It's the ability to, it's basically your own little wireless network. that
It's,
you can
it's
use
about the
at home if
size
you
of
don't
a,
have
s-
internet.
of a small cell phone.
I returned one tonight for Becky Hazen. but
Okay.
Can you use
If
it
you
in
don't
your
have-
car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can.
As
You
long
can
as,
use
it's so
As
it's
long as-
Metro PCS, it's on their, is that right? Am I remembering that right? I
It's-
think it's
no,
Metro
it's
PC.
T-Mobile.
I think we have two, okay, so T-Mobile.
Verizon has.
So if you're
them.
traveling, you might lose that connection,
Oh,
but like, there's a lady came and checked one out at
It's
our
kind of like your phone.
library.
It's kind of like your phone. If you're traveling, every once in a while you'll be in a.
yeah.
She's
Yeah.
staying in cheap
Yeah.
hotels and they don't all have wireless. So
Right.
She
Oh.
picked, she's.
Or
gonna
even
be-
you don't
people
trust-
that are worried about taking, we have one because I can't get anything else up north. And so we use that
Yeah.
hotspot, but I also use it sometimes because you don't want to use all the public Wi-Fi. I don't know, some are said not to be safe. So they really, if you have one, you can use it.
If your
Anywhere.
power goes out, your cable goes out at home. and-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Are they real expensive?
because you can recharge it with your car battery.
well, they're part of your
Phone plan?
phone
That's part of
thing,
it.
so they
Okay.
charge you something every month.
Thank you.
It was wonderful and then took grandkids camping. Because they could get on it.
Because hotels charge you a
Be
fortune.
quiet.
Yeah, yeah, so sometimes it's
few
just better
minutes.
to get
But you can only take it up for 3 days, right?
from the library.
Just have to come back, John.
Yeah.
Get another one.
Ours is 3 weeks.
Is it?
Oh, wow.
They're always checked out though, maybe we need to go down.
How many does your library have?
I believe we have 30
How many?
We have 10.
between the two, between the branches.
Oh, I
there's
see.
30.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got 3 branches, don't you?
Yeah, but Superior's not really open
Oh,
because it's too small and they're building a new Superior and they have not felt comfortable having people in the building yet. It's like a garage. It's as
Oh.
big as a garage. So
oh, I thought they had a superior.
they will,
Ah. Fancy Ypsilanti?
they will, and O'Neill's building it.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. And Dan's designing it. And there's
Oh,
lots of
really?
long meetings.
I'm sure.
That I regularly hear complaints about.
Those guys are gonna get joined at the history. Well, we have a motion on the floor and we haven't voted it yet, I don't think. So, all those in favor of approving the accounts payable, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by saying no. This is unanimously supported by the board. And we move on to one of my favorite parts of our meetings, the director's report.
So we were very happy this last week. We hosted the staff of the Westland Library. They were touring area libraries that have had new construction. They are looking at doing a 10,000 square foot addition on their building. So they toured us and had lots of questions. So I was very happy to be able to answer those questions for them. I'm glad John, you asked about staff because it has been something that's been very much on my mind. We have a fantastic staff here and I just want to make sure that they continue to be supported. We are looking at filling in some positions. We've got some, with the library assistant who's dropping some hours. And so we're looking to add a library assistant position. We also have Amy Greshaw is taking a family leave of absence at the beginning of the year. So we're looking at possibly hiring a part-time temporary librarian to assist while she's gone. So we're kind of on the hunt right now for some new people. The month of November is Dinovember.
Dino-vember. Oh, yeah,
November is
yeah,
the
I have to get
dinosaur
my,
theme.
My middle grandbaby will have to come
We're
back.
having a dinosaur story time tomorrow and a dinosaur party on Saturday. And there will be a very special guest at both of those programs.
yeah.
I'll show you the picture.
The green uniform and your, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a dinosaur. We have a dinosaur coming.
Cute, so cute, dino.
Are you gonna be inside that thing?
Wow.
What you don't do for the library.
Damn, we're gonna have to give her
I have to admit, it's a little bit claustrophobic in that
Yeah.
costume.
We have an Elmo costume if you ever want to borrow
Oh, cool.
it. It's hot as hell.
So hopefully you've noticed that some of our windows on our building are looking a little bit clearer. We've had them washed. We still have, the company still needs to come back and wash the interior windows. They're gonna wait until the weather outside is bad, so that, you know, they can do that then. I can see much more clearly now.
Good job.
So,
It was interesting watching.
yeah, I think they were washing.
In here.
Was it the marketing meeting where they? all of a
Yeah.
sudden you saw them?
Oh, is that right?
I saw them after.
All of a sudden
Maybe
it
it
was
was the building. Yeah. So, That's about all I've got.
And then you have these
Questions? Couple articles for you.
interesting, yeah, these interesting articles as always. That help us, I think this helps us get a sense of our library staff's perspective. And I always appreciate all this. And then here, this November, I'm sure it's gonna be really, there are so many kids that are really dinosaur people. So thank you very much. Any questions of our director?
What do you
should
think
have a-
that merger's been done?
I mean, they're trying to block it, so it's kind of starting
This
to
doesn't
become a
seem like it's
monopoly. Yeah.
ever successful when they try to work. Doesn't seem like they should be able to.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Penguin and Simon and Schuster want to merge
Oh,
and never seems to.
Just there are fewer and fewer book
Right.
publishers all the time.
Right.
They just keep.
So
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the subject
Banging
of
each
the
other out.
second
Yeah.
article that's in
It
our
never seems
packet.
to benefit the consumer when that happens.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. It is time for trustee comments, and I see our trustees down at this end of the table are conferring, so I'll let them start out. Joy?
I want to give Tanya kudos for wonderful financial
yeah.
reports.
That's what she does.
Yep. That's all.
Thank you, Alma.
Well, for me, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone, because I don't think we'll meet again as a group before that time. And for those that are traveling, safe travels and stay safe. And we'll see each other again in December.
Linda.
Well, I'm reading more now because of the colder weather. I'm inside a little bit more, so I'm grateful for that. Even though I miss beautiful summer, we've got these lovely fall days now, and feel like reading and looking out at the colors, which finally turned. It took so long this year.
Oh, so hot.
What?
They turned and then they fell right
Yeah,
off.
Yeah.
looking out on the lake, it's really pretty right now.
Trees still have a lot of leaves.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right, you know,
And they'll,
Lot
waste
of
management
raking.
will finish up real soon.
I remember one year I was still in Lansing and we had a fairly large snowstorm before Halloween in October when there were still a lot of leaves on the trees, and that makes a mess. So hopefully the leaves will fall before the snow does.
Yeah.
We already had a couple little flakes,
Yeah,
just a little bit
I'm not too,
harbinger of things to come.
yeah. Mary Jane.
Just a quick thing regarding the leaves. So I think when God was creating the world, he should have made all of the oak tree leaves fall on one day, all the maples fall on another. Sumac.
Well, you can't tell.
Because we have
you-
two maple trees in our backyard that are just about naked. But our neighbor has all of this stuff that looks like a hedgerow that blows into our yard or whatever. But really what I wanted to say, thank you to everybody who has persevered through the last couple of years. Almost 2 years now, isn't it? Since after COVID, AC. To get things done and to support the staff. And I look forward to what's going to happen next spring with the donor party and the grand opening finally. And just a reminder, this week on Thursday is Veterans Day. There will be a small service at the Veterans Memorial on Thursday, starts at 11. And it's a way to remember the people that have fought for our country. You might also notice that there's banners on Main Street now that'll be up through the month of November that honors different veterans that live in our area. Or could be the parent of someone who lives in our area. That's it.
John?
Yeah, I'm looking at the report here, and it says that so far this year, we have 30,000 guests. Visitors come through, and by the end of the year, hopefully we have 50,000. I think we can reach that number. And also, we've got 89,000 people who borrowed things from the building. And hopefully we'll have 100,000 by the end of the year.
Well, this is the fiscal year,
I just
though.
checked that.
Correct me.
This is the
Items-
fiscal year,
items checked out.
30,000.
Yeah.
So the end of the year will be June.
No, I'm saying end of the
Calendar
year,
Uh-huh.
you know, I think that'd be cool.
And that's severely lower because of COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think we're, yeah, but basically, that's it. All right.
Thank you. Tanya?
So I really enjoyed marketing report today, you know, because it was just good to hear about, you know, having these gatherings and getting together. The one thing I wanted to mention, especially for the donor event, it might be nice to have a photographer there, you know, professional photographer, you know, just to kind of capture the moment for us. But, you know, I'm really like, oh my goodness, we got photographer, red carpet, maybe valet parking. It's like, you know, I want to just really go overboard, you know, with this and really make it special. Because I think the community, you know, is looking for something special to happen. And it's just been so long. So I really am looking forward to this.
Yeah, over the
Over
doorway.
the-
when they
over the
come
top.
in. We should say a big sign, finally.
Well, I thank you, and my chair report, the main thing I wanted to highlight is right on piggybacking on Tanya, is that I really want to thank the marketing committee for the work they've been doing. And I know Mary Jane is always coming up with ideas, and Alma is keeping track of what's going on and how we're thinking of things. And then we've been engaging staff and young people, and it just sounds like the kind of full inclusive event that we've all been just looking forward to. I have to say that even though it is finally, perhaps for our sake, it might be a good thing that we've had a little extra time, because getting all the I's dotted and the T's crossed and everything said, especially on these signs, but on everything else, and having our chance to improve our ventilation system, because how timely that is for people recognizing the importance of ventilation systems in buildings. So we have so much to highlight. Mary Jo, one of the things we didn't talk about, but is on the ideas for the marketing for the event, is some extra written little pages that we can put around when we have the opening, to let people know all kinds of extra information that we want to share. So it's a happy time for us. We're hoping that in March and April, well, it might be a little further along. And I remember we talked a year and a half ago about how we wanted to do this when we didn't have to wear masks anymore. So we'll see, we'll hope. But anyway, it's a great project, and it's still fun. It's still fun even after all this time, and we've got a lot of fun coming, and a great contribution to our community. We're grateful.
Before you, I'm sorry, were you done?
It'll be John.
Well, I just, What was the number for how many people came through here?
But that's just the fiscal year.
Number of people came through here is 30,000 so far.
Okay, so we should probably knock at least 10 grand off of that. For all the times you come into the building.
But for the calendar,
That's why the number's so high.
but for the calendar year, the number is higher than that,
Yeah.
because this is just since June.
Right.
How is
What's July?
is there, I meant to ask this, or I'm sorry, how's the use of the Sumter branch? Is it going up a little bit? No.
We can justify it then.
Have we been able to do any programming like the?
We are doing, we have done, the computer classes down there, so we realize that we offer that.
Do people
But
come
It's
to
just,
those?
yeah.
Okay.
The price is we've got 2 staff members there all the time.
Um, and it's been really tough, you know, we just have a lot of restrictions with COVID, and I think there are a lot of people who are still,
Yeah, okay.
you know, timid about being in a smaller bulding with a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Right.
So
That's why,
just have
that's
to
why our
kinda-
Superior is closed.
kind of continue to work our way through this. and not-
Yeah.
give up.
No, it's smaller than. Smaller than Sumter. A little.
Well, are there any other questions? Anything else? Then we'll call on John to.
Madam Chair, I make the motion that this meeting be adjourned.
Second.
Well taken, seconded. Oh, well